Knox and Vivienne, life at a crossroads before 18, when two of Hollywood's quietest children face life-altering decisions, 17. That strange, in-between age. Too old to be a kid, too young to be free. For most teens, it's about final exams, birthday parties, and dreams that still feel just out of reach. But for Knox and Vivienne Jolie-Pitt, the quietest twins in the loudest family in Hollywood, 17 comes with impossible questions no child should have to face so soon. Who will I choose to live with once I'm legally allowed to decide? Can I ever forgive my father? And if my mom really leaves America like she said she would, will I go with her or walk my own path? This isn't tabloid speculation anymore. These aren't side stories. This is the moment when the once beloved prince and princess of Hollywood must begin carving out a future of their own. Vivienne has become a thoughtful, reserved young woman who's stepped into the theater world, not as a starlet but as a stage assistant working alongside her mother. Knox, rarely seen in public, is known mostly for his love of photography and his introspective nature. But what the world wants to know isn't just what talents they'll pursue, it's what side of their fractured family they'll ultimately choose. Will they remain under the wing of Angelina Jolie? Or will they attempt to rebuild a bridge long broken with their father, Brad Pitt? Because in less than a year, they'll turn 18. The age when the law steps aside and the decisions are theirs alone. After a lifetime spent in the shadows of a very public war, they will finally have the right to speak for themselves. I want to leave America once my kids are grown. Jolie's words weren't just about herself. In a telling interview, Angelina Jolie once said, "I don't really want to live in the US, I want my kids to be grown so I can leave." Her dream isn't to stay in Hollywood, it's to return to places tied to her humanitarian work. Cambodia, Ethiopia, Namibia, even Vietnam. This isn't about running away. It's about going back to who she truly is. The question now is, will Vivienne and Knox go with her or stay behind? This decision isn't just about geography. It's a declaration of loyalty. A statement that says, I choose my mother, just as their siblings, Shiloh, Zahara, and Pax, have shown in actions, glances, and, in some cases, legal filings. But if one, or both, decide to stay, it would mean something entirely different. Maybe they want independence. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the last open door for Brad Pitt to reconnect with his biological children after years of distance. Because Knox remains the only biological child who hasn't publicly rejected his father. And Vivienne, though clearly close with her mom, has never spoken out against him either. It's a heartbreaking irony. Knox, said to resemble Brad Pitt the most in both looks and demeanor, is also the most silent. He doesn't speak, doesn't take sides, doesn't stand with either camp. And yet it's that very silence that keeps the world watching. What is he thinking? Does it hurt to see his sister Shiloh drop the Pitt name? Is he angry that years of legal battles have torn his family apart like a badly written Hollywood script? Vivienne is different. The little girl who once shared the screen with her mom in Maleficent has grown into a young woman with opinions, ambition, and real passion for theater, not fame. She's stepping into her future on her own terms. But will she go as far as Shiloh did and sever that part of her lineage? Or will she choose to keep everything, knowing better than anyone that family isn't just a name, it's memory, it's blood, it's letting go, it's forgiveness. Knox and Vivienne were born in July 2008 in Nice, France, an event so widely covered that it dominated international headlines. People magazine revealed Knox was born at 6:27 p.m., followed by Vivienne just a minute later. The world welcomed them like true Hollywood royalty. At the time, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were one of the most powerful couples on earth. Rich, influential, and living the dream of a perfect family with 6 children. But that image didn't last. Their divorce, public, painful, and still unresolved since 2016, has become one of the longest and most bitter breakups in Hollywood history. And through it all, Knox and Vivienne have stayed mostly hidden, choosing silence. Growing up in the tension between a strong-willed mother and a father struggling with allegations and strained attempts at reconnection. Vivienne is occasionally seen out with her mother, shopping, attending plays, enjoying a walk. Knox has almost vanished from the spotlight. But his absence isn't apathy. It's intention. I want my children to grow up like normal kids, Angelina once said. But how can anything be normal when your parents are two of the most famous people on the planet? In 2024, Vivienne surprised the public when her name quietly appeared on the playbill for the Broadway production of The Outsiders, a show produced by none other than her mother, Angelina Jolie. But she wasn't listed as an actress. Instead, the 15-year-old took on the role of production assistant, a teenager stepping into the world of theater, not to be seen, but to observe and learn from behind the scenes. And that choice? It wasn't random. According to those close to her, Vivienne has a deep passion for theater, but she's not chasing the spotlight. Much like her mother, she's meticulous, a perfectionist, and emotionally composed. Jolie once shared, "Vivienne doesn't want to be the center of attention. She wants to understand how a show really works, from lighting and sound to how each actor connects with their character." This behind-the-scenes role isn't just a career stepping stone. It's also been a meaningful way for mother and daughter to reconnect during some of Jolie's most exhausting court battles. "Working together helped her understand me better," Angelina said in an interview, "and I saw clearly that she's no longer the little girl trailing behind me on the red carpet." While Vivienne is quietly stepping into the arts through the lens of organization and production, her twin brother Knox has found a completely different path, through a camera lens. He has a growing love for photography and sign language, two worlds that require sharp observation and a sensitive soul. Back when he was just 12, Knox shocked many when he shot the photo series of his mother for Harper's Bazaar. It wasn't just a child playing around with a camera. It was a decision Angelina trusted him with. Two black and white portraits lit softly through a hallway window showed a pensive, introspective side of Jolie, far from her typical red carpet persona. And behind that camera was her quiet, deeply thoughtful son. Now nearing 17, Knox is reportedly almost 6 feet tall, with a lean build and a face that's beginning to strongly resemble a young Brad Pitt. But what fans find most striking about him isn't his looks, it's his quiet strength. In a family constantly in the headlines for court battles and media drama, Knox has kept his distance. No red carpet events, no public statements. Just silence, as if he's quietly building a world of his own, one no one else can touch. The year 2026 won't just mark the twins turning 18. It may also mark the final chapter of a marriage that fell apart nearly a decade ago. And with that, each of the Jolie-Pitt children will face their own moment of reckoning. Some have turned their backs publicly, some remain silent, some are already busy carving their own path. And the world is starting to understand. The name Jolie-Pitt is no longer just a symbol of Hollywood royalty. It's a complicated emotional legacy, one carried by a generation raised in both love and pain. Knox and Vivienne now stand as the last great question mark. They haven't taken sides, haven't made any public declarations, and maybe that's exactly why they've become the most captivating figures in the story, holding millions of fans in quiet suspense. Not because people want to intrude, but because in their hesitation, many see a reflection of their own.